and welcome to our Veterans Day Assembly. I'm Sadie Reuter, a member of the Tomahawk Middle School Student Council. Our theme this year is How to Be a Good American. Each year, we come together to celebrate all of our armed forces, including the American Reserves and Guards. Thank you to Mr. Marin and the high school band for playing America the Beautiful.
Hello, my name is Sierra Heil. I am a member of the Tomahawk Middle School Student Council also. Sadie and I will be your masters of the ceremony today. Please welcome Mr. Quisenberry, our Tomahawk Middle School principal.
Thank you, girls. Good morning. On behalf of the School District of Tomahawk, welcome to our 2021 Veterans Day Assembly. To our active service members and veterans in the room, we are truly honored by your presence here today. It is Veterans Day in America and in schools across this great nation. Assemblies like these will provide students firsthand view of the dignity and esteem that comes with serving our country. This year we have another great group of students and staff who have come together to organize this program in honor of you and in thanks for your commitment and sacrifice in defending the United States of America and all of the values that we hold dear. This year's theme is How to Be a Good American, and in doing so we recognize the unwavering courage and resolve in the men and women who have stepped up to serve that cause. It is through your dedication to duty, courage, pride, and selflessness that led you to serve a cause larger than oneself. You are a positive example for us all, and we thank you for all that you have given and for all that you continue to give. We appreciate you joining us today and truly hope you enjoy today's program. Thank you.
Please stand in silence for the presentation of colors, showing respect by facing the flag, saluting, or holding your right hand over your heart. Stay standing while the chamber choir sings the Star Spangled Banner.
please continue standing? Please join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. The chamber choir will now sing Battle Hymn of the Republic, words by Julia Warehow.
would now like to welcome Ms. Kyla Doddard, United States Air Force veteran and Tomahawk High School teacher.
Good morning, everybody. As I was asked to prepare a speech for this, you kind of think about what to say. And I guess I'll start with just giving you some background information on me. I, too, grew up in the Tomahawk area. After high school, I decided to enlist in the Air Force, where I had a job as a C-17 loadmaster. So anybody in the room who knows what a C-17 is, it's a really large cargo airplane. I had arguably one of the coolest jobs in all of the armed services, and I will take a minute to just brag about some of the cool stuff that we got to do. So like I said, the C-17 is the second largest in the fleet of large cargo airplanes. We carried anything from, if you talk to the Army, they'll say beans to bullets, or we carried the president. Whenever the president goes overseas, he has to have an entourage with him. He has to have his limousine. He has to have his communication specialist with him. So it's in total, it's 8 C-17s go with the president anywhere he goes to ensure that he has all the Secret Service members with him and everything that he needs to carry out his mission while he's overseas. I never got to actually carry the president or anything like that, but I did get to haul his limousine. And I always get asked this whenever people ask me about, oh, you got to haul the presidential limousine. I can tell you that yes, the doors and the windows are this thick, and that they will not let you go in, but they did open the door and let us peek around inside. And the doors and windows where the president sits are very, very thick, which everybody curiously always asks me about. I've also got to do some humanitarian relief where we would bring anything from diapers to water to pregnancy tests, anything like that to Africa, to those who needed it there. I've also was a part of carrying a sick elephant from a zoo in Anchorage, Alaska down to California. So you name it, the C-17 is very capable of carrying it. And so as you can imagine, with this job that I had, I got to see all sorts of the world. In fact, it took me, I've circumnavigated the world, which is just flying from one spot all the way around. I did that twice, which took us about a week. In the grand scheme of things, that's pretty quick. I did deploy a few times. The majority of my job, obviously, in order for me to fly and maintain and carry cargo, I was gone a lot on an average. So every year I would deploy. About 4.5 months was pretty average. In a grand scheme of 365 days, about 270 or so I was gone. Not necessarily gone out of the States, but gone from wherever I was stationed. I was stationed up in Anchorage, Alaska for 4 years, and then down in Charleston, South Carolina, where we have, that's our largest inventory, if you will, of C-17s. But as I started to think about, what to talk about and what Veterans Day essentially means to me, in recent events especially, I think it was really highlighted, and what a better place to celebrate Veterans Day than in a public school, in my opinion. Maybe some of you in here don't like going to school, and I get that, it's part of adolescence, but because of those who have fought for us before for these freedoms, education is one of those that is really super important. I don't know if anybody has seen in recent events what has happened in Afghanistan when we ended the war. People were literally holding on to airplanes trying to get off the ground with them. I can't imagine, as you sit here, having that level of despair where you would literally be willing to hold on to an aircraft as it's about to take off, which is pretty sad to think about. So as you sit here and let that kind of delve in a little bit, education is just one of those freedoms that we have here, and it is because of those who have fought before us to allow those freedoms, okay? Maybe you don't like education, and that's fine. You're totally entitled, but it does, not in all places of the world, a given right like we have here, which is why one of the reasons once I separated out from the military in 2013, why I went into education, a part of being a part of something bigger than yourself, which is the military. You get to see a world perspective. I got to communicate with others from all over the United States. And I was able to bring that back into the classroom. And some of these kids can attest, they have me as students, or they have me as a teacher. I bring a lot of this things that I saw, learned into the classroom to sort of give them that world perspective, or at least a fugal attempt at that. So when I think of Veterans Day, it is a day to really just tip our hats to those who've served, if for anything else, like I said, for the freedom for us to have public education and to become educated, because like I said, not everywhere in the world do people have the same right or even access like we do. So to those who have served, thank you. And if anybody who has any questions ever about the military or is considering it, again, I'm a high school teacher. I'm in the science department. Feel free, my door is always open to have a conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Daughter. Lizzie Long, TMS 6th grade student, will now read Story of Taps.
The bugle call known as taps is thought to be a revision of a French bugle signal called tattoo. In July 1862, Union General Daniel Adams Butterfield called the tattoo music and hummed a version to his aide, who wrote it down in music form. He ordered the bugler to play his new call at the end of each day. The music was heard by other brigades who adopted this bugle call. It was even adopted by Confederate buglers. This music was made the official Army bugle call after the war, but not given the name taps until 1874.
In the Armistice Day tradition of respect and memory for those who have given their lives for our country, I ask you to stand, turn around, and face the east for a moment of silence. Out of respect for all the fallen soldiers, there will be a 3-volley firing squad salute, followed by taps. Please remain standing and hold your salute until taps is done.
We would like to thank all the 6th grade students for writing essays this year. Now, I would like to introduce Mr. Jerry Johnson, American Legion. Mr. Johnson will present the awards to the winners of the 6th grade essay contest. Will the following winners please come forward and stand by Mr. Johnson? Third place, Colton McKean. Second place, Brynlin Rumsey. And in first place, Cameron Cracklow. Cameron will now read her essay.
How can I be a good American? I think that in order to be a good American, you must exercise your voting rights, make sure you treat everyone equally and that everyone is treated equally, and let your voice be heard when you have something to say. These few things are only a small portion of things you can do to be a good American. To be a good American, you should exercise your voting rights. When you vote, it shows that you care about what's happening in your state or country, and gives you a say on most things that happen. When voting, you should vote on things that you know will make your community, state, or country a better place. When voting, you should be passionate about what you're voting for and voting for things that will make America better. Some things people vote for include presidential elections, community elections, and school board elections. Another way to be a good American is by making sure everyone is treated equally and that you treat everyone equally. It's important to treat everyone equally because when people don't get treated equally, it can cause people to divide. A way to treat everyone equally is by showing them respect and attention. Think of the world as a school. Some kids are the cool kids and some kids get treated like they don't matter. That is not the way things should be. Everyone should matter and everyone should be a cool kid. You can also be a good American by letting your voice be heard. You can do this in many different ways, including sending a note to the government, your town hall, or even saying a speech at your local school. Letting your voice be heard is showing that you are willing to make your town, state, or country a better place. When deciding to change something or make something better, you should always make sure that you know it's something other people will agree with and will be able to help you out while achieving your goal. Overall, exercising your voting rights, treating everyone equally, and letting your voice be heard when you have something to say are great ways of showing that you are a good American. By doing these things, you will make America a better place for everyone in it.
Now, I would like to introduce Ms. Barker, a fifth grade teacher and student council advisor for the Tomahawk Elementary School, who will present a donation to the Never Forgotten Honor Flight VFW Post 2687 on behalf of the Tomahawk Elementary and Middle Schools.
Good morning. So for 2 weeks in the month of October, our elementary student council promoted a school-wide nickel war. And it was a challenge between the grade levels. And our goal was to raise $500. And the idea was to use that money to support the Never Forgotten Honor Flight program. The Honor Flight program, as I'm sure many of you know, is a nonprofit organization dedicated to honoring and supporting our veterans. Their mission is to provide veterans with the opportunity to visit the memorials erected in their honor in Washington, D.C., with the idea that it has absolutely no cost to the veterans themselves. Though we've conducted fundraisers similar to this in the past, never before have we had our students and families in our Tomahawk community come through so generously. By the end of our fundraiser, we had raised $2,025. I cannot tell you how heartwarming it was to see even our youngest 4K kindergarten students bringing in change from their piggy banks to support this, so it's really awesome. During this same time period, our middle school student council also held a fundraiser in support of the Honor Flight program, and they were able to raise an additional $612, bringing our total that we'll be turning over today to over $2,600. So congratulations. This morning, in addition to presenting Mr. Campbell and Mr. Thompson from the Never Forgotten Honor Flight with our donation, we would also like to personally recognize 5 Tomahawk Vietnam veterans whose service we will be honoring with our donation this year. As I read your name and branch of service, I would ask that each of these gentlemen stand and be recognized, as one of our student council members will be presenting you with a memorial boarding pass in honor of your future flight. So could you please join us in recognizing U.S. Air Force veteran Sid Loken. Please join us in recognizing U.S. Army veteran Leonard Osborne. He'll find you. Can we recognize U.S. Air Force veteran Gordon Loves Letton? U.S. Navy veteran Mr. Don Schultz. Honey, you can come around this way. It's okay. And U.S. Air Force veteran Bill Voits. And Sid and Bill, I think we mixed yours up, so I apologize. We'll catch you at the end and trade. We're still letting you on the flight. So we just want to take this time to thank these gentlemen and all other veterans in attendance with us today for your service and dedication to our country. And at this time, it is my honor to present Mike Thompson and Jim Campbell from the Never Forgotten Honor Flight with our donation on behalf of Tomahawk Elementary and Middle Schools. Thank you, and God bless our country.
We would like to thank all the 7th grade students from the middle school for writing their essays this year. Now I'd like to introduce Mr. Jerry Dvorak, VFW. Mr. Dvorak will now present the awards to winners of the 7th grade essay contest. Will the following winners please come forward and stand by Mr. Dvorak? 3rd place, Alina Kirkis. Second place, Phoebe Dinah, I think. Sorry. And in first place, Nora Mann. Nora Mann will now read her winning essay.
How can I be a good American? America was not built on fear. America was built on courage, imagination, and the unbeatable determination to do the job at hand. President Harry S. Truman. What do these words really mean? The independence, the opportunity, innovation, diversity, generosity, and respect. These are all things that you could take into consideration. Don't just think about them, embrace them. We are all Americans, but what can we do to be great ones? Respect. Respect is something that everyone should be good at. If you don't have respect for a person, they have no reason to respect you. 5 ways to show respect are listening, kindness, being thankful, being polite, or even just smiling. Doing these things is enough to lighten someone's day. Respect isn't a hard thing to do. Every day I see disrespect from everyone. Respecting one another can help enlighten the world into something better, something that doesn't determine race, gender, or pride. Respect is something that everyone can show to make the world better. Helping your community. Helping your community is easy. You can do something as simple as going and picking out trash. There are many other ways you can help. You can volunteer, donate, etc. With the coronavirus going around, a very good way to help your community is wearing a mask, getting tested if you have symptoms, and staying safe. We are going through a tough time right now, and helping your community can help. Diversity. Years and years have gone by since Martin Luther King made his I Have a Dream speech, and we still don't have equality. As Americans, we need to learn that everything is equal. It's not just Black lives matter, it's all lives matter. We live in a time where everyone is criticized, so we can do our part to make everyone feel and be equal. We are all human, all unique in different ways, so why can't we be treated equally? An American is defined as native or citizen of the United States, but we can't have America without respect, citizenship, opportunities, diversity, and so much more. It is not just about what you can do, it's what you should do. Being a good American means stepping out of your comfort zone and doing your part to make this a great place to live.
At this time, we would like to recognize the service people who have recently returned from active duty during serving our country. Please stand if you have recently returned from active duty.
The Tomahawk High School Chamber Choir will now sing the service songs of each branch of the armed forces. The words to each of the songs can be found printed in the insert in your program. Veterans, please stand and sing with us as your branch of the service is announced. The United States Army.